Hello YouTube, this is Dragonzilla here. So I believe it was either yesterday or a couple of days ago that Safari Limited revealed their figures for 2020, and as usual everybody is given their thoughts and opinions on these new models, and because I do these type of videos too, I thought that I might as well join the club and tell you all what I think of the new dinosaur figures from Safari's Prehistoric line for next year. Well, even though not all of them are dinosaurs, but you get the idea. And we will start with figures that I'm not too hyped for, and end with those that I'm enthusiastic the most. So without further ado, let's see what Safari will be releasing for 2020, the year where Godzilla and Kong have their legendary battle! Right, so before I get hyped for next year's Monster Rumble, here's the first figure, which is Pachycephalosaurus, the bone-headed goat of the Cretaceous period, as I call it. The paint job reminds me of Safari's 2017 Velociraptor, so I wonder if that's where the inspiration for this figure's colours came from. But I'm not a big fan of Pachycephalosaurus, so I don't think I'll be getting this one. The second figure is the Demonicus, the cow of the Cretaceous, and from what I have heard, a lot of people are very excited for this model, and it's another one that will be worth picking up for your Cretaceous collection. However, I'm going to burst everyone's bubble by saying that it's another figure that I don't plan to get. There's nothing wrong with the figure or the animal itself, but the reason why I'm not hyped for this one is because, to me at least, Edmontosaurus is basically your generic plant-eating dinosaur, and I've seen it in a lot of films and documentaries, and because of this, I find this dinosaur to be boring. However, that's just my opinion. If you're a big Hadrosaur fan, then that's okay, and I respect your opinion as long as you respect mine in return. The next dinosaur is Dilophosaurus, a familiar face from Jurassic Park, and despite Safari sticking to scientific accuracies, their new Dilophosaurus looks like any other Dilophosaur figure on the market. I know that there are some people out there who are desperate for a feathered version of this dinosaur. Well, I'm not too sure if Dilophosaurus did have feathers, or there's proof or even a hint that Dilophosaurus was fluffy, but whatever people think, the model is alright, nothing to brag about, at least from me, so moving on. The fourth model is Concavinator, and it's a dinosaur that Safari did do for their Carnegie range many years ago, so it's nice to see an update on this dinosaur. Unlike the previous figure, the sail is only short and doesn't go as far as the tail, so it must be something that paleontologists have concluded on. My knowledge on Concavinator is limited, so yeah. But overall, it's a nice looking figure nonetheless. Another dinosaur to which my knowledge is limited, once again, but I think you can forgive me on this one, because it's a recently discovered theropod. However, it's a member of the Tyrannosaurids, a group of dinosaurs that I definitely know, and its name is Chinsenosaurus, I think that's how you say it, and it's basically a slender version of Tyrannosaurus, and as you can see, it has no feathers, and I know that's been a debate for years. Did the Tyrannosaurs have feathers or not? We know that some members of the species did, and for others like T-Rex, well, I get a little lost on this topic, so I'm going to leave it alone. But it's fantastic to have another lesser known dinosaur in the range instead of making the same beasts over and over again. Here's one that's definitely proven to be very popular ever since it was revealed. This is Demonicus, and what I find interesting about this figure is that unlike so many other Dromaeosaur models that are in an attack pose, Demonicus here is just taking a stroll and minding its own business. This really does make a nice change from the usual bloodthirsty monsters that raptors are often portrayed as, but they were not monsters, they were animals, and for 2020 Demonicus really does show that. The next figure is the marine reptile Ichthyosaurus. We haven't had those for a while, and our collector have made a couple of members of the species, but not Ichthyosaurus itself. I like the paint job on the model, and as Matthew the Dinosaur King said, it looks like it was inspired by orcas, aka killer whales, and it will look nice with your other marine reptiles. Now then, since I'm a big fan of crocodiles, this will definitely be a welcome addition to the collection. This is Sarcosuchus, and it's a beautiful model. Absolutely lovely, but unfortunately I have one criticism on the figure, and this is a complaint that I have heard many people say. With the exception of the head, it looks too much like their Caprasuchus. However, this is only a prototype image, and Safari have been known to fix up their upcoming figures before they are released to the public. I believe that people weren't too happy with their Allosaur and Stegosaur figures that came out this year, but they fixed them up to make the models better, so hopefully they will do the same thing for Sarcosuchus. And the final figure that I am excited for the most is this, the Safari Limited Syringosaurus, and wow, what a beautiful figure. I remember earlier this year, I saw a video on Syringosaurus. I'll provide the link in the description so you can go and see it. And I was thinking, this animal needs to be made into a model. And guess what? We've got one coming next year. And another thing that I love about Syringosaurus is that it looks like a creature that could star in a Harryhausen film. And if you don't know who Ray Harryhausen was, he was the greatest stop-motion animator of all time, and he is known to have created some of the greatest movie monsters in the history of cinema. So to me, the Syringosaurus will be the best figure for 2020. I know a lot of people will say Demonicus will be the best, but Syringosaurus is just unique. I'm sorry guys, but I love this figure to death, even though it's only a prototype, but I just love it. Well, that's it guys. Those are my thoughts and opinions on the Safari Limited 2020 figures, and all of them with the exception of the Chuangosaurus. I've really forgotten how you pronounce that. They all have their mouths shut. Good choice of animals, well made. Only 9 figures for next year, and the first 5 that I covered, I think I will pass, but the last 4 I will add to my wish list. This is Dragonzilla sign out. Take care, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.